to the June the 11th, 1991 taping of It's Happening in Grand Prairie. We are very excited today. We have two very special guests. As a matter of fact, they're just real little jewels, if you want to know, and we're going to bring them after this one public service announcement. The Grand Prairie Community Theater is into their second weekend of The Typist and the Tiger. And that performances will be on the 14th and the 15th at 8 p.m. at the Grand Prairie Community Theater, which is on Northwest 15th. And we're very excited about this performance. Please call 262-STAR if you'd like reservations to see The Typist and the Tiger. This will be the last weekend performance of this very special presentation for the Grand Prairie Community Theater. And speaking of little jewels and gems, the jewels and gems of Grand Prairie at this time, front and center. We're so pleased to have back with us today two very special young men. Mr. Bob Smith, glad to have you back with us.
Glad to be here, Ruth.
You wonderful. And Mr. Hal Huey, our standby Grand Prairie, and we're so glad to have you back with us. Now, Mr. Bob and Mr. Hal both came with us last year and the year before that. And each year, about this time, we get the stage set for gems and jewels and rocks and all of this good stuff. And would you like to start out, Mr. Bob, and tell us what all we're doing?
Well, we're having a gem and mineral show this weekend, June 15th and 16th at the University of Texas at Arlington in the Bluebonnet Ballroom, which we think is the finest facility in the United States.
And this is going to be open to the public?
It's open to the public. Admission is $2 for adults and 50 cents for students, and children under 12 get in free.
Oh, that's wonderful. This will be a wonderful learning experience for them, won't it?
That's right.
All right. Who's putting on this show?
The Arlington Gem and Mineral Club, and we've brought the door prize for the show. That's that amethyst cathedral that's sitting on the table.
Oh, that is magnificent. And all you have to do is to attend one of these sessions and put your name in the pot, and you may end up
That's
with this
right.
gorgeous
The lucky
amethyst.
person gets it.
Oh, that is beautiful. And when someone picked this up as a gem or a rock, on the outside it looks real tacky, but then when you cut into it, you find the magnificence of that stone.
That's right. That's the amethyst really jumps out at you.
Oh, that is great.
This was donated by the Gem Star Rock Shop on Route 303.
Okay, and that's Route 303, Grand Prairie or Arlington?
Arlington.
That's Arlington. Okay, just keep on.
I gotta remember I'm in Grand Prairie, Ruth.
That's right. You have to cut it kind of close, because 303 goes from all the way from Mountain Creek all the way over to your Arlington, doesn't it?
That's right.
Okay. Well, we have a very special Grand Prairian on the set with us today that really knows about gems and minerals. And Mr. Hal Huey, we're glad to have you back with us. And
thank you.
What is your involvement with this show again?
Well, as Bob is, I'm one of the past presidents of the club and also one of the past show chairmen of the club. But it's a club effort and everybody gets involved in it. We're all anxious to participate and contribute what we can to it. And I bought a few things to show, and as Bob has here too, this is just a smattering of material that you'll be able to see if you come to our show. We're a very active club. It's the Arlington Gem and Mineral Club. It serves the entire Metroplex because there is no club in Grand Prairie. It serves the intermediate cities between Fort Worth and Dallas. And we have a lot of active members, and they're all
269 of them now, Hal.
Yeah, they're growing. We're
269 members. That is wonderful.
And it's growing all the time. And it's just simply that people like to work with rocks. And all kinds of rocks. You see this beautiful amethyst crystal here. I brought just a couple of representative samples.
All right, why don't you hold that one up and show it as you're talking about
I might mention that there's all kinds of phases to rock and gem collecting. This particular piece is a dinosaur bone. It's petrified. It's a tibia bone. And You can leave it like it is just as a representative sample, or you can cut it up and make gemstones out of it. And this is a ring I made for my wife. It's a dinosaur bone that's polished up and mounted in silver.
That is just
And it
beautiful.
makes beautiful jewelry.
Oh, it's beautiful, chocolate brown. Isn't that pretty? That looks like almost like a Hershey that you eat, doesn't it?
I'll tell you, dinosaur bone polishes beautifully.
Oh, that is great. And show us another one, Hal.
Now this is, as I said, we have several facets. Some things you polish, some you don't. This is a crystal, and it happens to come locally. There's not many stones that you can collect locally here, but these are calcite crystals in a concretion, in a septarian nodule. And this was collected when they were cutting through Loop 12 over in Dallas. And this is, as I say, it's not good for polishing because it's a soft crystal, calcite is. But it makes a beautiful specimen, and there are people that don't polish rocks, that just collect specimens, and there's 1,000 different crystal forms that you can collect, so you can have a very large collection if you're interested in crystals.
There's always something going on in the Dallas-Fort Worth area as far as excavation is concerned, building of highways and
Yes.
building of Lake Joe Pool. Are there some of you all sitting on the bank watching them dig when all of this goes on, or how do you get your hands on things like this?
Well, this is a better fossil area than it is a jewel
Yeah.
area, Ruth.
I see.
This
And,
used to be covered by a sea, an inland sea, and there are many, many fossils here to collect. There again, you normally don't polish fossils, they collect like specimen
Yes.
crystals. But there are people that are interested just in fossils. We collect, not we, Grand Prairie contributed a beautiful fossil fish to the Dallas Museum of Natural History. It was found over here at Egyptian and 19th Street by two boys looking for shark teeth.
Well, how exciting.
And it resides now down in the Museum of Natural History in Dallas. So, as I say, if you're interested in fossils, this is a prime place to look for them. If you're interested in rock polishing, you have to go to the mountainous areas where you'll find igneous rocks.
We're down at the Great Bend in Texas.
Yeah.
All
Like,
right.
Where there's lots of volcanic activity and lots of jewelry stones formed.
All right. How long have you been working with this, Mr. Bob?
Well, I've been working in about 12 years with it, but my wife's collected stones ever since she was a little tiny girl.
I see it.
And she grew up in New York City, and it was a real boon when we moved to Texas.
Oh, yes.
Because Texas is at the beginning of the best jewelry hunting in the world.
Yes.
New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Montana. California is very good. It has a lot of tourmaline in it, and a lot of clubs in it. And most states don't like California people
I see.
because when they go through an area, they scrounge everything they can.
Clean it out, don't they?
That's right.
All right. Mr. Hal Huey,
Well,
You
I
have
was
some
going to
more.
mention something else.
All right.
When you're collecting rocks, you might look out for these little rock bugs too.
and you built this little rock bug, didn't you?
Yeah. I
Tell me
built
about
them.
building these rock bugs.
All you do is just take a little polished rock. You can take any kind of a rock your imagination will give you, and with some brass wire, solder them together and glue them, and you have some little bugs, and put a couple of little eyes on them.
Well, let's talk about some of these pretty things down here. Why don't I hand one of these up to you, Mr. Bob, if I can lift it?
This is
Describe it.
malachite from Arizona.
Oh, it is.
And it's just as the malachite was found, but it's been polished.
I see.
And there's an engineer, an electrical engineer out there that does this. He works with malachite, whatever gemstone he can get his hands on. He just polishes them, but he keeps their native forms.
I see. In other words, if like my malachite beads that I have, he wouldn't dare cut these up into beads then, would he?
No.
Oh.
And I would shoot him if he did.
Oh, yes. And talk about this one that looks like it
Okay,
has some kind of gold
that's
in it.
fluorite, and it's a very unusual one in that it has two types of fluorite with it, and it has some quartz too. Notice the clear and the purple. When this is a quartz crystal, it was found up in Arkansas. This is from Tennessee.
All right, and you have them all marked from whence they come?
That's right. In order to show it a show, you have to put down the locality it came from.
And what if you don't know what that is when you find it? Where do you go to do that? Is that what the Gem and Mineral Show is for?
That's what the club will help you do.
All right.
They'll help you identify. Now, this is a fortification agate from the Badlands in South Dakota. And it's very rare, and it's very much to be desired. And I've cut this and polished this side, and I'm going to cut it again because you'll notice it's quite thick, and
Yes,
the
it
pattern
is.
goes all the way through, Ruth.
Oh, and it goes all the way through.
And so I'm going to cut it again, end up with 2 rocks.
Oh,
But
that'd
the
be
rocks are
great.
worth several $100s each.
Oh, that is magnificent.
So
All right, you have some more over there, Hal, that we can show and tell?
Well, as I mentioned, there are several facets of interest in gemology and in rock hounding. Some people collect specimens, like Bob has his mineral specimens here,
Yes.
and he'd shoot you on sight if you tried to cut one of those to do
Yes.
something with them. You leave them like they are because they're beautiful examples. And other people do different things. Some people collect petrified material or just smaller crystals. Other people just polish rocks. Other people facet. Now, faceting is a main portion of that. So,
In the 2 minutes we have left, you better tell us, hold those up
Okay.
kind of close to you and let the camera see if they can pick
All
that
right.
up. Are those different things that you have polished?
These are all kinds of different stones, gemstones that I have cut and polished, and different sizes. And I particularly wanted to mention one of them here, which is this one here, and I'm sure it won't show up too well on the camera. But if you look into the center of the stone, you'll see a
beautiful.
Texas star. This is the official cut, facet cut for the state of Texas. The legislature passed a resolution declaring that.
that cut was invented by a club member of the
Yeah.
Arlington
Yes.
Club.
That's great.
And-
Well, we want to commend you not only for all of this wonderful work that you do there, Hal, but also for the eyes that you fashioned
Oh.
for the lion that is now in Mr. Bill Bowles' foyer of his office, that was a lion that was from the Quality of Life Foundation that he purchased from us, and that you so graciously donated the eyes for that lion so we could sell it to him, and we want to publicly thank you again for that.
You're quite welcome, Ruthie. Before we run out of time, I'd like to mention one other thing. Our club sponsors presentations to the local schools.
Yes.
And it's a case of hands-on. We allow them to touch the crystals and see what they're like. We tell them about them. And this is a little case that I bring to my program that I present to show the various gemstones that are available.
And that's in our local schools.
In our local schools, we have several speakers in the club that give programs regularly in the public schools.
Well, we want to thank you, gentlemen, for being with us one more time. The time, date, and place, and the cost for
June
these, Mr. Bob.
15th and 16th, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, and 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. $2 for adults, 50 cents for students.
And where?
UTA Ballroom, Bluebonnet Ballroom.
Oh,
It's in the Student Center at UTA.
I want to thank you all and wish you Godspeed with this Gem and Mineral Show. Thank you all for coming to be with us again today.
We appreciate the
Thank you, Ruthie.
opportunity.
Good. We'll be right back. A Juneteenth celebration. Our entire community is involved in this great celebration, and we have a very special young lady today to talk about all of the happenings, but especially one of the events, Sylvia Holt Hopkins. Sylvia, what's coming down the pike, my dear? Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. There are a lot of events scheduled for this Juneteenth celebration. They will begin on Friday. There will be a basketball game for the teenage men from 6:30 to 7:30 at the Dalworth Recreation Center. There's a basketball game from 7:30 to 9:30 at the Dalworth Recreation Center for adults. There's a cookout and a block party from 9 o'clock to 2 a.m. at the Nance James Park. On Saturday, there's a Juneteenth parade beginning at 9:30 a.m. There will be opening ceremonies at 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 a.m. at the Delworth Recreation Center, which will be followed by lunch, also at the Nance James Park. The 8th annual Touch football game will be from 3 to 5 p.m. at Prairie Park. At 6:30 p.m., we will host the Miss Grand Prairie Juneteenth Scholarship Pageant. On Sunday, June 16th, there will be a 21 basketball tournament at 3 p.m. at the Delworth Recreation Center. The entry fee is $1 and the first prize is $100. On Monday, June 17th, a women's basketball game will be from 6 to 7 at the Delworth Recreation Center, and a women's basketball game from 7 to 8 at the Delworth Recreation Center. On Tuesday, June 18th, there will be a men's basketball game from 6:30 to 8 at the Delworth Recreation Center, followed by a movie from 8 to 10. On Wednesday, June 19th, there will be a hot dog roast along with children's games and activities from 5 to 10 at Prairie Park.
The main focus, as far as you're concerned, then, your chairmanship is the scholarship pageant. Is there any special details you need to get on the show about that?
Sure. The pageant will be Saturday, June 15th in H.H. Chambers Auditorium at Grand Prairie High School. It will begin at 6:30 p.m. and tickets may be purchased for $3. We have 10 contestants this year. They will compete in swimwear, evening wear, and talent. The 5 finalists will compete in projection, and the winner will receive a $1,000 scholarship to the college or university of her choice. Tickets may be purchased at the following locations: Perry Pruitt State Farm Insurance, 101 Southwest Dallas Street, Grand Prairie, 264-4860. At the Grand Prairie Chamber of Commerce, 900 Conover Drive in Grand Prairie. The phone number is 264-1558. Hair Simply Elegant, 3201 East Pioneer Parkway, Suite 48, Arlington. Phone number is 817-633-3059. Delworth Recreation Center, 2012 Spike Street, Grand Prairie, 264-7670. And at Max Beauty Enhancement Center, 309A East Highway 303, Grand Prairie, 264-6566.
Wonderful. That sounds very, very exciting, Sylvia. Do we have any last-minute details now?
I'd like to tell you who the MC is.
All right.
He's Mr. Russ Parr from 100.3 KJMZ. And our escorts this year will be members of the Texas Air National Guard, and these men also served in Operation Desert Storm.
Wonderful. We appreciate very much this wonderful PSA and wish you Godspeed with the pageant and all of the other activities for Juneteenth that the city will be helping to celebrate also.
Thank you.
The Grand Prairie Arts Council is very pleased to present a very special PSA. We're delighted to have several cast members with us today and the co-producer, Cindy Van Smith. Cindy Van Smith, you're on.
Thank you. Have you heard the exciting news lately?
Yes!
We've heard the news.
Who's coming to town?
Conrad Birdie's coming to Grand Prairie.
When is he coming?
June 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
Where is he coming?
H.H. Chambers Auditorium.
And we'll all need tickets, so we need to find out about the availability and the price.
Well, tickets are $6 for adults and $4 for children, and you can get them at the Chamber of Commerce,
Bedford National Bank, or from any of us cast members.
So buy them for me because we're having a contest and I want to win.
Let's sing one little song for them. Let's start with, "We love you, Conrad. Oh, yes, we do. We love you, Conrad, and we'll be true. When you're not near us, we're blue. Oh, Conrad, we love you." And we want them all to, what? Come. Be sure and come.
Buy those tickets.
That's right. Thanks.
Bye for me.
Our next guest is very exciting in that he's bringing us good news about Flag Day. And in Grand Prairie, Texas, we always like to celebrate that very special occasion. And we have back at the dais with us today Commander Cloyd Penson, who is the commander of American Legion Post number 184 in Grand Prairie, Texas. Welcome back, Commander.
Thank you, Ruthie.
All right. Tell us a little bit about Flag Day or what's going on at the American Legion. Would you do that?
Well, first of all, I would like to announce that after a rather humble beginning about 3 years ago of 26 people, we now have signed up a little more than 200 members. And that's an all-time record high for the Post, and we're quite proud of that.
Well, congratulations. I know that you're a very important entity to Grand Prairie, and that makes it wonderful to have 200 members as the backbone of that organization.
We anticipate having more than that next year.
Oh, wonderful.
As for Flag Day, this coming Friday, June the 14th, the public is invited to come to the Veterans Memorial Center at 218 South Center Street in Grand Prairie, where at 7 p.m. we will begin a ceremony which will culminate in the destruction, or we like to say the disposition, of unserviceable flags by burning. The program will include several presentations of Americanism Awards to scouts in elementary schools and high school students. We'll have a solo rendition of God Bless America. The welcome address will be given by Rear Admiral Bob Smith. And if you come a couple of hours early, we may have some hot dogs left, so everybody's invited. We'll have a retreat ceremony where we lower and fold the flag, and everything that goes along with it. We hope to have some Desert Storm troops there that we'll try to recognize also. And we're looking forward to a nice evening.
All right, now this is a date that is designated always on the 14th of June, and it's not a holiday particularly, but a very special day for us to observe, right?
Right. We will actually begin our program. I understand the city will designate the Post to lead the city's recognition of the nationwide pause for the pledge at that time. In this particular year, it's rather stylish, if I can say so, to recognize the flag, and we're going to do so with exuberance.
Right. And you are still the commander of the American Legion Post, number
Right.
184.
No, fourth year now.
Right, that is great. All right, now, other than Flag Day, you're always bringing us good news about other things. How about the cemetery? Where are we standing with the U.S. Cemetery?
Okay, that's the National Cemetery for Veterans to be in this area. We have, over the past 3 years, looked at a total of more than 20 potential sites for the cemetery. Those sites have been winnowed to 4, and I think it was announced in the paper recently that the 4 sites, one of which is in Grand Prairie near the Westchester Acres area, another one is near Mountain Creek Lake, another one at Cedar Hill State Park, and still another one at Mansfield. I can announce that on the 1st and 2nd of July coming, the environmental impact study people, the consultant, will be here, as will some more representatives of the Veterans Administration, to look at the sites. I have scheduled a tour of all 4 sites for them. And on the following day, on the 2nd of July, there will be 2 meetings at the Veterans Hospital, or Veterans Medical Center in Dallas, as it's now called. One at 2 p.m. and one at 7 p.m. They call them public scoping meetings, and the public is invited to input to those people anything they want to about the locations that they're considering for the cemetery. We're now looking at a year-long process for the environmental impact study, and after that, of course, is design and acquisition of the property and design and construction of the cemetery. And what seemed to be a long ways away 3 and 4 years ago is now quite a big step closer. We're looking at the formal opening of the cemetery in 1996.
That sounds wonderful. All right, would you bring us up to snuff also on the American Legion? If there was someone in our viewing audience that might be a veteran and want to join, how do we get in touch with you or someone, or where do they write? Give us some information about that, would you, Commander?
Well, the American Legion, of course, is its post headquarters is at the Veterans Memorial Center at 218 South Center Street, but the best way to reach us is to simply write to Post Office Box 530391 here in Grand Prairie. And my phone number is 252-9778. I can also say that in the lobby of the Veterans Memorial Center on South Center Street, there are membership applications on display. You can literally fill one out and leave it on the table, and we'll pick it up. And I can say also that this coming Friday, there will be a table manned by at least one person with membership applications who will take applications for membership in the American Legion. And we invite all eligible veterans to join with us.
Great. And also they could come and join with you, fill out the application, and stay over for the flag ceremony, right?
Stay over for the flag ceremony, and as I said, come early and have a hot dog as long as they last.
Right, right. And all of that's happening at the Veterans Memorial Center, 218 South Center Street?
Right.
Okay. You will be at the City Council meeting this evening and publicly receive from the mayor a proclamation relating to Flag Day. Is that not true?
I will be proud to.
All right, so anyone that wants to bop up to City Council meeting at 5:45, they'll get to see you there receiving that. Also, we'd like for you one more time to look out into your camera, give us the time, date, and place of the flag ceremony, and a little bit more about what's happening for those that tuned in late.
Well, it will be this coming Friday, June the 14th, which is Flag Day, at the Veterans Memorial Center, 218 South Center Street in Grand Prairie. The program begins at 7 o'clock, and we will lead off with a nationwide pause for the pledge and present several awards to local elementary and high schoolers. We'll have a lot of scouts there, Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts. We'll have a solo rendition of God Bless America. We have a Navy color guard to lower and fold the flag for us. And we have Navy Admiral Bob Smith, who will give the welcoming address, and we'll conclude the evening ceremony with disposition of unserviceable flags by burning.
Your own chaplain, Vince Castro, has been very wonderful to keep us up to date on all of these happenings, and we appreciate you and he very much keeping us all apprised of all of these happenings. We want to thank you for being on the show today.
My pleasure.
Look forward to seeing you there Friday evening. And this is Ruthie Jackson reminding you, and you want to join me? It's happening in Grand Prairie.